Well, look what I got my hands on. A surprise box. I am so excited. I have been able to use Poke Notify and other related things to help me get some stuff at MSRP. So in case you're wondering how the heck do I do that, that is the way. And being on the computer 24/7. So there's that. So let's go ahead and open up this. In case you haven't seen one, which I'm sure you have. Here's the things on the side. Okay, so we're gonna just burn some more money here, and then I have some stuff on the side as well. What I want to talk about is current events. This is a surprise box, but you know what is not a surprise? History, because it does repeat itself. I don't care who said history doesn't. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. At the very least, you can tell by the patterns, okay? And I think that there is some truth to that phrase of, you know, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat that. I really, really, really think that is true. Because the thing about history is we should learn from other people's mistakes. So that way we don't have this awkward situation of, oh, I should have known better. And, you know, if I had thought about this, maybe people wouldn't have died, or maybe my economy wouldn't be such crap, or, you know, a whole bunch of very negative side effects of things. So here's this box. Okay, so at least one of the people that I've been watching mentioned how this is going to fall out, and it sure did. So we have these dividers, which I believe are two-sided. Sure are. There we go. Although they have all this cardboard, they couldn't give us one of each, huh? I'm just kidding. Okay, and then we have our promo, which is not the one that everybody wants, but I'm just going to keep it sealed. I think we'll be okay. And then we've got 4 of these, and they are the different ones. Yeah, I think they're all different. One of the other YouTubers was also asking about that, so I'm going to keep this box for storage. It's a beautiful box. It's printed cool. Nice. Okay. Say what you will about this set, but the artwork and the packaging is really beautiful. Like really crisp, clean, refreshing. Okay. As I said, okay, history does repeat itself. So again, I'm not going to be surprised if I open up these things and I get nada. And I won't be surprised if I just am burning my money again, because I know that going into it. So I'm not going to be disappointed because it is what it is. Now, what am I actually referring to? Ukraine and Europe and Russia. Okay. This is a really big problem. Russia, it's surprising and scary that Russia is still in Ukraine and that they haven't pulled out. Because what they're doing is they're just literally, you know those old movies where there's like a war scene and there's a cannon, and then they put in the gunpowder and the cannonball, and then they use that stick thing to like pack down the gunpowder. Basically, that's what Russia's been doing to their own people, and now the North Koreans, where they're just like completely setting them up for slaughter, and they're totally fine with that. Yeah, we got nothing. Big old nothing. Big old nothing sandwich. But again, paint me like one of your French girls. Yeah, and then this is a reverse hollow trainer, but nothing special. It's just foil. Cool. Okay. So, what was I saying? Okay, Ukraine, Russia. Yeah. So if we go back to like the Cold War, and I mentioned this in the last video too, of like this concept of mutually assured destruction, where they had nuclear weapons pointed at us, we had nuclear weapons pointed at them. We both could have destroyed this world, and still can, multiple times over with the nuclear weapons that we do have. And because we were both like, well, if I shoot mine, then you're going to shoot yours, and then we're both dead, we were both like, nah, let's not do that. Okay. And there's also this concept of peace through strength, which is this idea that if I puff up my chest a little bit and I make it seem like, okay, we got a master ball. I'm sorry, not a master ball, at least a Pokeball. Yeah, Pokeball. Then we got a reverse. Then we got Pheasantipity and just a regular energy. So we got a Pokeball. Those are supposed to be considered hits. Just leave that at that. Next one. So think about where we are, okay? This is year like 3 of the Ukraine-Russia war. And they have lost, I feel like it's probably quite certain of like hundreds of thousands of soldiers, Russia. And not to mention equipment and things. And it's been a fraud this whole time. It's been a sham. Okay, but a lot of people are dying. And so we should be in a fairly good spot for negotiation to end it. Okay? Because they've got to be running out of resources. They already had a population problem, like not growing, Russia. And then you're killing off a bunch. Hey, there's a Master Ball and a Pikachu. So that was a great one. Okay, surprise box. You did surprise me there. Sorry. Master Ball, Larvitar. Not a great card. Only 10 damage. So I don't think that's very highly sought after. That's okay. And then Pikachu EX, which I have hit before. Nice. Okay. This is probably the best prismatic situation I've had. The first time I opened some, it was solid. I think the binder was good. I can't remember. Sorry, my allergies. So yeah, I mean, they've been there for a long time. They've gone through so much of their equipment, like their military equipment. They've killed a bunch of their soldiers. They're bringing in North Koreans, who obviously are not the most trained people. And so, you know, we should be in a pretty good spot. Ukraine is resilient and as headstrong as ever. And yet we have what has happened over the last couple of days, really at the end of last week. So here's Larvitar again. Earthen Vessel, that's a good one. Where we had a few important Archelodon and another Sylveon. Okay. So that's not horrible. Could be worse. I have more things because I want to talk for a little bit. Let's do this one. I got this from the Pokemon Center. Look at how it came. Like, I'm not mad. It's whatever. I don't care. But this came from the Pokemon Center in this condition. And the box was totally fine. Like, the box was fine. The packaging, the bubble wrap was totally fine. And I wonder if they put it in the box fully knowing that it looked like this. But again, it doesn't really matter to me. But I was just kind of shocked that, like, you didn't put this in, like, a discount bin or something. Like, that's, I mean, if somebody was really wanting to be like, I want to put this on my shelf, like, it would be probably not the best thing for your shelf. But I don't know. Whatever. So... yeah, the last, at the end of last week, I have my knife right here. What am I doing? At the end of last week, we had some important people go over, the U.S. had some important people go over to Europe, to a conference where they're talking to other important European nations. And one of those was Pete Hegseth, our unfortunately new Secretary of Defense, which is just so problematic on so many different levels, as well as, I guess, our Treasury Secretary, just Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, whoever that is, who was insulting by saying, this is from the New York Times, it says, they were talking about Zelensky. After meetings with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, he rejected an extraordinary proposal that the U.S. be granted 50% interest in all of Ukraine's mineral resources, including graphite, lithium, and uranium, as compensation for past and future support of the war. 50%? Like, we want the... Look at the damage, man. That's wild. Sorry. It doesn't matter. But 50%? 50%, like that's you have some chutzpah, okay, to say that you want 50% of anything, okay? Here are the stickers. And it's just, you're stupid. Like, and you have, again, chutzpah in the worst way possible, because it means that you just have a real big head, okay? Scarlet and violet and 2 obsidian flames. Oops, okay. So, not good, okay? And then I'm pretty sure it was Hegseth who said, let's do Scarlet and Violet because it's Scarlet and Violet. He said, again, I believe it was him, who said that basically stop holding your breath when it comes to Ukraine joining NATO. Like, it's not going to happen. Again, all of the cards that we have in this 3-year stupid war that's just slaughtering people for no reason at all. There's a clear, obviously bad guy here, and it's not Ukraine. And he wants to get rid of arguably the most important thing here, which is Ukraine joining NATO, even though they've clearly shown that they can hold their own when given support, right? But they are defending their land and their life with their lives, right? And I mean, if that doesn't show you how they feel about this, then nothing will. And that is extremely problematic. And then you have also everybody just saying stuff. Again, Trump, Hegseth, and apparently for some reason the Treasury Secretary, don't know why he was there. You have all these people saying just ridiculous things. And I want to say it was Trump who obviously has talked on the phone to Putin recently for like an hour and a half, which is an incredibly long time. But also saying that like Ukraine isn't going to be at the table and that Europe won't be at the table. That it'll be us and Russia, our enemy. And again, this is an interesting thing when we're talking about history of, okay, from my understanding, the Republicans used to be quite anti-Russia. I mean, all of America used to be anti-Russia. That's why we had the duck and cover drills. That's why, that's why we had the Vietnam War. I mean, there's the whole thing of us not liking Russians for a long time. And I don't know if people know this, but I'm sure a lot of people do, but I don't know how many people know this, but the Russians stole our nuclear secrets from right under our faces. That's embarrassing. But what I'm saying is they were never our friends. The only reason why we were on the same team with them against the Nazis was because they also didn't like the Nazis. We were not on the same team because we liked each other. We were on the same team because we both had the same enemy. Right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So that was the concept. So let me open. I have this too. Okay, this is Stellar Crown. Random, but I do have it. So you really, when it comes to high stakes things like this, you really should not open your mouth until you all have discussed in private the specifics, because you don't want to show everyone your cards. And again, they're not even using the cards that we have. They're not even trying to get what we want, but apparently Trump is a great negotiator. But they're not even trying to get the stuff that's important. You're trying to get 50% of the mineral rights. Like, this is become obvious of what his main thing is, Trump. Basically, recolonization to get resources. Not to help our friends, not to make a more secure world, even though he claims that. He claims that we need Greenland for national security. Okay. Why do we need 50% of Ukraine's resources, even though they're our friends? Like, come on, man. Anyway, yeah, the Republicans used to not like Russia. But ever since Trump entered the picture, all of a sudden, they don't care about it anymore. They don't really have a problem. I haven't seen this one. They don't really have a problem with Morgrim? I've never seen that before. Okay, that was a whole bunch of nothing. Hold on. I think I have one more thing that fell on the floor. Oh, actually, I have two more things that fell on the floor. Okay. I have another Scarlet and Violet, and I have another one of these Stellar Crown blisters. So let's do this. Let's open up Scarlet and Violet, second to last. Okay, so my point in all of this is peace through strength is a very solid thing. And getting what we want is a very solid thing. We are the United States of America. I have nothing against that. I do have a problem with not following through with our word. I do have a problem with crossing people, especially people who have been our friends and who have done nothing wrong. Okay, if somebody crosses us, well, that's one thing. But for us to do that first, very, very problematic, because where is our integrity? Right? America, the dollar is the dollar, and it is so powerful and so has so much value because people trust us. People trust the United States of America. Okay, for better or for worse. I'm not saying that we haven't, done coups, and I'm not saying that we haven't overthrown people who shouldn't have been overthrown. Like, I'm just, everybody has a past, and, everything that we do has repercussions for better or for worse, and sometimes America has not made good choices. Period. End of story. And that doesn't mean that we can't be better, and that doesn't mean that we can't, be the best that we can be right now. Okay, when Trump says make America great again, what he's really talking about is make it, late 1800s, where there's a bunch of backroom deals and a total disregard for others and a total disregard for the future outside of dollar signs. In the 1800s, it was all about the dollar signs. This was the Gilded Age. This was an age of corruption. Okay? We don't need that. And I know that Ukraine has had corruption problems. I get that. I totally agree. They're not talking about that. That's not their complaint. Okay? And at this meeting, okay, so after Zelensky met with Trump, I guess, where he was just completely taken aback by this ridiculous proposal of giving us 50% of Ukraine's mineral resources, which again is just absurd. But what it does tell you, like, Zelensky's a smart man. Okay, Zelensky's a smart man. Again, say what you will. But I believe he is quite an authentic person. I really do. That's my interpretation. And he was a comedy actor, but he's been leading a war-torn nation for 3 years at this point, and he's still strong, he's still resilient, and he's still standing up for what he believes in, which is the existence of his country. He left that meeting with our leaders feeling like we have abandoned them, that probably we are a joke, and that we're not going to be there for them. We're abandoning. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, 1 second. Hold on. So I got this guy, but we got this. What a thing to end on, man. I'm cool with that. Okay. Let's examine this as we close this deal. That's a really cool piece of art. I like the colors too. Nice. I've never seen this card before in my life. That's really neat. That was a great pack to end on. Nice. Okay. So we got some good hits today. But my point is that we need to stay true to our values. We need to not undermine people. We need to stay true to our word. We need to help Europe stay safe, as we have since NATO was formed. As we have since before that. Because we kicked out the Nazis, okay, guys? Like, we kind of settled that deal. We kind of closed that chapter of history, okay? We should stay that way. We should stay that way. I know that we spend too much money on our military. I'm fine with that. I know that. That's fine. I know that we spend a lot of money helping other countries. I'm fine with that. America is a charitable nation, as it should be. We have some sins to pay for. We've made some mistakes. Going after aid and helping other people and defending our friends, that is worth every penny. Defending world peace, worth every penny. Every penny. Standing up for what we believe in is always the right thing to do. Standing up for others is always the right thing to do. Always. This administration has become extremely problematic in a very short amount of time. Please be paying attention to the news, please. I know it's hard. I know it's incomprehensible, but we gotta, because this cannot continue. We have to pay attention. We have to push back. Sorry, I know I'm a downer, but this is really important stuff. Not enough people are paying attention, and we have to be paying attention, although it's exhausting. We need to be doing that. All right, so that was the surprise box and a tin from the Pokemon Center, a bent one, and a couple Stellar Crowns. And now my dog is barking at me to let her back inside. So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you have anything that you're interested in, please put it in the comments below so that way I can address it and we can talk about it. Until then, let's see what happens next.